Here we go, here we go, here we go again. What's going on? Down, down. So it's your favorite girl, Like a Rose here. I'm doing a little bit of artwork and I'm gonna speak about something that's going on, I guess trending and stuff like that. It's trending, and I got something to say about it. Experience actually from it, kind of a little trauma and all of that jazz. So I'm gonna be doing some artwork, a little artwork with the little hand sanitizers, these little sanitizers that everybody loves, that everyone's going crazy for. Well, they have been for a while, and so am I. So what I do is I buy these hand sanitizers, all different smells and stuff like that. And what I do is I put my own little image on them, which is like, stickers pretty much. And then I'll like put like gloss over them and stuff like that, so that way they don't get wet, and if they do, they don't tear off. So like example, like I got that. This is already pasted, and these are already pre-done, but I have to just add some glare to them. I have to add some more like fluorescent to them, or not fluorescent, but just and stuff. So I'm doing that, and I'm having a little drinky. Ooh, a little icy drinky. So that being said, let's go. Let's do this. I need the black, but I'm not gonna get the black for right now. Anyways, what is going on with TikTok? Like I've been on the TikTok. Can y'all see that? What's going on here? You know what? I don't like the way this looks. I don't like that with that thing. Let me move this over here. There we go. What's going on with TikTok? So you always on the TikTok. You always like, so my bills are paid. Now I got to start all over again. So I love that whole TikTok thing and stuff. There's this thing going on with the TikTok of that chick who's calling all the churches and talking about like or mentioning that she needs a formula for her starving baby, pretty much, and the baby's in the background crying, but it's a recording, it's not a real baby. And she's asking all these churches, by now everybody's already heard it and everything, especially on TikTok, about the baby, and then all the churches that are like, no, we don't do that, no, and then like, sorry, and there's no help. I think she called like 33, don't quote me on it, like 33 different churches, and then I think 6 or up to 9 said that they would help her or something like that. Well, in the whole thing of it, when she's calling them and saying that, and then it went viral on TikTok, and it's still around that I'm aware of. There's other people putting videos saying, like, one chick, I guess she's like a stripper, like a dancer. She's like, dude, all you had to do was call the strip joint, and there would have been like 5 women already. When, where, why, and how? How can we get this baby some food? And then somebody else posted a video, and they were like, all you had to do was call like a biker club, or like call like a club with bikers, and they would have been like boom, 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 or you just call a regular fucking bar, and men there would have been like, yeah, let's do this. So and you know what, and that's right, because now the churches are against this woman, or calling her that she's a witch, and what she did was rotten and stuff. She was doing a social experiment and so forth. But the thing is, think about it too. When you go to church, what's the thing that they ask for after the little sermons and everything they do? I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church. I have gone to church. And it's okay. You preach, and then you ask, and then all for the money. Although we like the jingles, but we would rather what folds. The bills, the folds. That's from Coming to America. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start this off, and I'm going to be doing some more work while I'm doing that. So I'm going to experiment on this, but should I experiment on this one? No. Let me go to another one here. Let me try this one here. Okay. But other people were saying, like, man, if you would have just gotten, like, called a biker club and or a strip joint, women would have been like, where, and stuff. And I get it because it is what it is. But all these other churches, I think that the churches that actually, the ones that actually did, the few that did, they were like, again, please don't quote me on my words, because it was all over TikTok to the point where I had to go, okay, not interested no more. I'm not interested. I don't want to see no more because it was, my algorithm was just so messed up on that, not messed up, but on the same of that girl, and like just repeats and everything. So I was like, chinga. But what I want to get to is, I'm gonna get a little emotional here and stuff like that because, and I just started fucking drinking right now, you know, and I'm already getting emotional now that I'm actually thinking about it. Whew, and this is actually smelling a little too potent. So let me go ahead and finish this one, and I'm gonna turn on my fan because it's been a little cool here in South Texas where you don't have to turn on the fan or AC, but this is kind of potent. This is nice. It's coming out nice with the color I got going on here. I'm using this marvelous stuff here, but it's, whew. Let me turn on the fan real quick. Give me a minute. Okay, we need some ventilation because with the drinky and this smell, this is like toxic. I'm using this, and this is like a sheer clear through, but it has a purple tint to it, so, and it works perfect with the purple. I'm gonna see how this dries up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and see it. Then I can do it with the clear stuff, and then take it from there. I've already used Hodgepodge or Mosh Podge with it. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, so again, wrapping up on that, the girls doing the experiment and all that jazz, and it is sad because like the way there's no, and the majority of the people that answer the church, she's calling the church, so she's calling the admin office, and it's women, it's women, and hey man, like you know you got kids, or you know even if you're a grandmother, like you've had kids and you know all of that jazz, so for them to not even like say like, you know, I don't know, throw out a bone, and it goes back to the Hitler's third cousin, I'm going to tell you, the animal shelter, where I have to, those who have seen my video, you guys that have seen my videos, you know, they like how I have to practically not so much beg, but I mean like, come on, just to get some dog food / cat food and all of that jazz. And how they act like, oh, like if I'm asking you for your money, or I'm asking from your pocket, give me some money for that cat or for that dog. When you have a pantry open and or you give free food, yes, you have to sign up, and then they want you to either do a donation or they want you to do voluntary work. I've already done voluntary work, and I've done that since the pandemic, but when I have asked them, like, I don't carry cash on me. I do not carry cash on me. So can I give you a card one time? Can I give you a card and get $5 from it? Oh no, it's because, and then the card machine charges you a fee to donate that $5 fee. So it's like, oh no, like unless you have cash, dude, I don't got no damn cash, man. Like, but come the hell on. I know the struggle. I definitely know the struggle. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. So when I was started watching that chick that was doing that, and she was streaming left and right on the TikTok, because she's always on the TikTok. This tint is coming out really cool with this Friday the 13th. You can't really see it, but it's coming out really, really nice with the purple hue on it. Very nice. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. She's talking about like her baby hasn't eaten all day, or the baby's gone for like a good maybe a day or whatever without eating, and if they could offer or they can help supply her with 1 can of baby formula and so forth. I didn't know how much baby formula cost. Like, it was so expensive. My kids are already way grown, and I'm a grandmother now, so, but I don't remember it being that much. But then there's WIC. WIC gives you like the formula and stuff. Anyways, what I'm trying to get to is the way she said the baby was without formula and the baby was 2 months old. This was a fake scenario that she was saying. She was just seeing how these people would actually act and or respond to her. The thing is, my experience, what I want to say, and it dawned on me when I was coming from the store. Today, I had a full day today, and I went and I did a sanitation job that I do since I'm clean up and I do sanitation. So they called me for an office, and I sanitized it and I did all that stuff. So when I was driving, I don't know, it just dawned on me like, hey, that girl, the church girl that's talking about babies in churches and the way they're denying her, and then now she's getting backlash. She's getting a lot of a good response, but there's a bunch of backlash from the actual church members saying like, you're a witch and you're doing the devil's deed and all of that jazz. Back in the day, I used to live in Mexico. I lived in Mexico for a couple of years when I was a youngster, a little youngster. And I actually experienced, and believe me or not, a baby starved to death because being in Mexico, and I'm gonna get a little emotional here on this one, just like thinking about, because it dawned on me like this happened when I was about 12 or 13 years old, and now I'm in my stage of life. But I was like, whoa! I remember when that happened, when a baby actually starved to death and died. Now this baby was, let me give you the back story of the story that I'm gonna tell you. This baby was, in Mexico, we had a maid. Never forget her name. Her name was Goya. She was our maid like for years and years and years. When we moved to Mexico, we lived in a ranch with horse racing, caballecillos it was called. The horse racing like tracks. We lived in the ranch, and then there was like the horse racing tracks, and then there was like the actual ranch back there where we would have goats and was the horses, and then they had like stalls, and then they had with the stalls they had like on the side they had like, I guess not apartments, but they had like rooms where the maid and her husband and her kids would live. This was back in the 80s, by the way, in the 80s, okay? Way back in the 80s. I'm smoking a Stug, so I'm not going to smoke here live with you guys. I'm going to smoke on the side. And this lady, she had a couple of kids. I remember she had Nufo. She had, I think, Goyita. She had a daughter named Goyita who was, something was not right with her. She was, I don't know the proper word to say. I don't know the diagnosis, but something was not right with her, who she took care of a lot. And then she had an older daughter. I think she had about 4 kids, if I'm correct. All different stages of ages, but she had an older daughter, the maid Goya, and her older daughter's name was Suki, or what was her name? Snooki or Suki? I can't remember her name, but she was her oldest daughter that I'm aware of, and she was, and I'm gonna say it like it is in the way, and if you don't understand it or like it or whatever, but if you're gonna judge a cover by its book, I'm gonna say that. Now, her kids were all great. They were all great, but Goya had this daughter named, was it Suki? Her name was Suki. She was a dyke. She was a butchy dyke. Like, she was a lesbian lady. Like, she was lesbian. Young girl. I want to say maybe 21. I couldn't tell you. This was back when I wasn't even a teenager then. If I was 12 or 13 years old. The oldest I was 13 years old. So then I was 18, but if it was when I was 12, then I was 12. I wasn't even a teenager yet. What was her damn daughter's name? That daughter was, I'm talking butch, stack like butch, like she was. When you saw her, you know that that's a lesbian. That's a butch. That's a dyke. Whatever names you want to throw at it like that, but nothing bad, nothing bad. I'm a tomboy shit. I'm bisexual. I love me some women. But you could tell this chick was a butch. She was butch to the butch end. You would never think that she would have been with a man. Lo and behold, she gets pregnant. She gets pregnant by a guy. I can't tell you the story. I don't know what happened, but the girl got pregnant. This butch dyke lesbian daughter of hers. She gets pregnant. She has a kid. Now, this was when we were, and where we lived at, we lived in a ranch. But we also had a house not too far away, like a house separate from the ranch. We had a house, San Buenaventura, Coahuila way. And in the house, the maid, Goya, she would go to the house, she would clean the house, and then she would go to the ranch because she lived in the ranch with us. Well, not with us, but they're at on the side. And her husband's name was Felipe. I'll never forget Felipe. And they were drinkers. They were drunker drinkers. Like, they would drink. You think I'm drinky. No, they would drink straight up. I don't know if it was tequila or vodka, but they would drink straight up fucking. There was no chasing it. There was no mix it with some little cranberry juice, some lemonade. No. It was just drinky. Like that kind of shit, I don't even recall ever seeing them with a beer in their hand. Anyways, I'm just explaining how it was. This is my recollection when I was 12 years old / 13 years old. My recollection, and I am way on top of the lifespan when it comes to how young I was, without saying my damn age, whatever. And I remember, I'll never fucking forget. She had the baby. And I must have been 12. I had to be 12 because, I was 12 because we moved to Mexico with my mom's boyfriend. So he was still there. That man was still there. That we considered he was our father. So if he was still there, then yeah, I was 12 years old. Goya the maid, she's working there at the house, not at the ranch. And I was there. I remember she was mopping or whatever. And it was back in the 80s, you had a telephone and stuff. And I remember she was there with her son, Nufo. And when she was there, she got a phone call. And it was from her daughter, Sanqui. Her name was Sanqui, if I'm correct. And all I hear is Goya be like, what? Like in Espanol, in Spanish, like, what? Like, ay boy, boom, she drops the fucking mop. Tum, tum, tum. From where we lived in town, where we lived, it was a distance. The maid ran, Goya ran. She didn't even care. So she ran to the ranch, or she ran to where they were at. Sanqui was living like in a tent. She was living in a tent, her daughter, and she had already had the baby, and the baby was literally about 2 months old, maybe 3 months old. The baby was not even a year. The baby was a baby, like not even, I don't even think the baby was crawling. The baby was a baby. Lo and behold, after she had the baby that I'm aware of, I'm gonna get emotional. The baby starved to death. She starved to death because Sanqui, the daughter, she didn't have milk to like feed her and stuff. And if I'm correct, I don't think she was breastfeeding her daughter. Like, I don't think she was. How she got pregnant, why she got pregnant, I mean, it's beyond me, because this girl was full on butch. I'm talking about like butch, like fucking stampede butch. Like, she was calling it by what it is. Like, like, what? You're lesbian and you got pregnant? Okay, she has the baby, and if I'm correct, I couldn't even tell you if it was a boy or a girl, that baby. I want to say it was a boy. And the baby starved to death. The baby, I went into like a cardiac arrest or whatever. I don't know what happened. I was 12 years old. That baby starved to death because she was feeding the baby water and sugar. She was giving the baby water and sugar. And I think she tried to put like cereal, like literally cereal, like in a bottle and like shake it up and like make it like for her to drink it. And it wasn't suffice. It wasn't like what the baby needs as a newborn baby, as a baby. So she fed the baby water and sugar. And when the baby went into like I want to say a cardiac arrest, I don't know, from like starving and not eating properly and not getting enough nutrients, she called the house and she said, hey, like something's wrong with the baby. So Goya runs and she fucking ran because that was her granddaughter or son. I think it was a boy. And I remember I saw like, what the fuck's going on? Like, boom, she ran in and lo and behold, the baby passed away. The baby starved to death. So what I'm trying to say is when I started seeing these videos recently on TikTok, 2 days ago on TikTok, about this girl doing this experiment, calling churches and saying like, hey, can you help me out with some formula, because my baby's hungry and stuff. It dawned on me right now tonight when I was like coming back from my sanitation job, and I was just like, wow, I remember when that happened and the baby ended up starving to death. Now, my mom's boyfriend at the time, we considered him our dad. That's a whole different story with that man, but we I don't know why the maid didn't, like the maid worked hard and my mom, I know she compensated for her like a lot, like whatever stuff, but there wasn't like no call out for like the baby needs food. Because my mom would have given it, and Rudy, that man who was my mom's boyfriend at the time, he would have said, fuck yeah, dude, I mean, with plenty of money, fuck yeah, man, like come on, dude. The baby didn't have to starve. That Sanquid's child didn't have to starve to death. She was feeding him, my recollection, water and sugar. And that baby starved to death. And I remember my father, my mom's boyfriend at the time, he got so pissed off. I remember him bitching like, what the fuck? When he found out the baby died, he was like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you fucking tell me? Like, he was like, why didn't they tell me? Like, I would have fucking gladly given the baby food and given them formula. And I know he would have done that. Why didn't they fucking call me? And was, obviously sad. Goya comes back and was, the baby's fucking dead. The baby's dead. And we're like, boom. He bought the coffin for that baby. He bought the coffin, and that coffin was so small. Now that I think about it, because I know that I've spoken about in other videos about being a funeral director's assistant and seeing an infant in a coffin that was too big for the infant coffin, yet too small for the child coffin. And this coffin was one of the smallest I've ever seen. But now it's dawning on me like how I've seen coffins before, like small, tiny coffins, because when I was 12 years old in Mexico. Now again, this is, you're fast forwarding a lot of years now, and now being in the funeral parlor and stuff, and he paid for the baby's coffin. He paid for that coffin. And Goya, the maid, she was devastated, man. That woman was devastated. She dove deeper into the bottle, deeper, like, why? But he bitched. Rudy bitched, like, why didn't you fucking tell me that baby needed food? Why didn't you fucking tell me? Like, you're giving them, not that she was giving them, the grandmother, but the daughter, the Sanqui. You're feeding the baby just sugar and water, like, come the fuck on, like, and putting like regular cereal in it and shaking it up and trying to feed the baby, like the baby's 2 months, you're 2 months old, man. The baby's 3 months. That baby was tiny. And that baby passed away and he starved to death. So it just dawned on me, and I'm just gonna bring this out here with this video that I'm posting out here. And I said I was gonna be doing artwork while I'm talking, but apparently I'm not. I don't even know if I can do artwork while I'm talking to you guys, as I'm talking to you guys, fuck. I don't even, you know what, I can't do artwork while I'm talking. I just can't do artwork, especially about this topic. I can't focus on this simple shit when there's children out there dying and starving, literally starving. And I'm gonna do this later. I can't do this right now. I can't. I really can't do this right now. I can't do artwork right now. But that little baby died and he starved to death. So this girl's experiment, so many years later, it kind of heartfelt, and it dawned on me like, wow, I remember when I was there when the maid ran, ran, and the baby passed away. The baby died, and the baby starved to death. Is what he was, malnutrition. He fucking starved. I really don't think it was Sankwi, the daughter's fault. They were just so fucking poor, and I don't know if it was the maid who didn't have, who was too embarrassed to say, "Hey, can you please give us some food, like some formula milk for the baby, or what?" I really don't know. Again, I was 12 years old. Yeah, I was 12 because at 13, that man had already taken off. Rudy had already taken off. Other situation. But it's kind of hard, and now that I'm thinking about it, and not so much. I'm not drinking. I just started drinking, so but it just heartfelt. That baby starved to death, and for churches to not be able, the women who answer the phone, and be like, whatever and stuff. You couldn't say like, hey, well, let me go ahead and let me see what I can conjure up. Let me see what I could fucking possibly do to be able to, to assist you or whatnot. If you're not breastfeeding, okay, the baby's hungry or whatever. You could get the most generic food formula or something. You could have done something. But anyways, I'm not gonna make this too long or anything. But I experienced that at 12 years old, which is very, very traumatic. Our maid, her daughter, Sankwi, had her son die of starvation because they were too poor, and either she didn't have whatever, but that baby starved to death. And I remember seeing the coffin. I remember Rudy, my stepdad, my mom's boyfriend, he bought the coffin. I'll never fucking forget that. So anyways, just dawning on me like now, like just thinking about it, like there is real fucking people out there, with children that are fucking starving, and I don't know. But I remember I witnessed that. I didn't see the baby actually die, but I remember when she got the phone call and she fucking ran. I was like, what's going on? And then lo and behold, found out that the baby, because we all knew that she had a baby. We were confused, like, well, you're a lesbian, you're a full-on butch. Like, how did you? Okay, it happens, whatever. But why couldn't you come to us when you knew that my mom and my mom's boyfriend, our stepdad, took, you know what I'm saying, took care. You're living in the ranch with us. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Sankwi was living there. She was in a tent or she was doing something. I don't know, but I remember that baby starved to death, drinking sugar and water because that's all she had. And Rudy being very, very pissed off and saying, what the fuck? But he bought the coffin. So I'm going to end this, because I'm just repeating myself. But that experiment that girl did on TikTok, and doing that and stuff, and it just goes to show you, dude. Oh yeah, you praise the good world, world and stuff like that, and you're this, and God loves and whatever, and you can't give a fucking formula about it. I can guarantee you now, with everything that's going on that TikTok roller coaster and shit like that, you have your pantries or whatever the fuck, when you stock up that pantry with some fucking baby formula, or something needs to be done when it comes to like WIC and or like the stores, HEB, your Walmarts and stuff, right before the formula like expires or something. You throw away a lot of stuff, like you go through a lot of shit, dude. You can, just the way when you go to a food bank, I go to food banks, dude, because I'm hungry, and I fucking, it's a hard world. It's a really hard world. I got, and I'm going to show you guys, I didn't know there was another food bank that's over here. I already signed up last January. This January will be 1 year. I have a 1 year 1 year card for the food bank. The food bank that's right over here, not too far from my house, and it's for 1 year, and you go every second or every third Friday of the month, and you'll get, you line up, you gotta go early, because, cars line up, and stuff, and they get all the food and all that stuff. I get food. January, I have to renew my food bank, but since this whole shutdown with the government happened and like people are not getting their food stamps and stuff, hey man, hard times. A friend of mine tells me that there's another food bank from where this food bank's at. There's another one straight down, and right there close by, there's another food bank. And I was like, really? There is? Yeah. So they were giving last Thursday. They were giving free like food. Like, hey man, you don't even have to sign up. You don't have to whatever. Just show your ID. Boom, they'll give you free food. Now that was last Thursday. When people, I guess, went there for last Thursday, they didn't have enough volunteers to help out, so they said, come tomorrow, meaning last Friday. Come tomorrow, okay, boom. So my friend tells me, no, it's gonna be on Friday instead. I go, okay, cool deal, boom. So I didn't go because I had something to do. And then my friend goes, hey man, she goes, I'm not here. She goes, nobody's here, like nobody's here. They're giving away like fucking chicken, boxes of chicken, and some bread and stuff like that. I go, I go, not to this bank, but the other bank. And I went, and lo and behold, there was only 2 cars there. I was the 3rd car. They gave me so much chicken. And blessed be, I got chicken thighs for the rest of the month. And let me go ahead and show you right here. I'm gonna open this up right here. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm stacked up to the gills. I'm stacked. There's 3 chicken leg quarters in every one of these bags, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 right now. So do the math on how long I can have that last. And I already ate 4 for 4 days. Every day I'm eating chicken. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm eating chicken. So I got all this stacked up, and if not, that would be empty. They also gave, which was really cool too, they gave this, which is really nice, this ham. I'm not really a ham eater, but this is like good and it's not expired. But they gave us these hams. I actually feed my feral cat some of this ham here too. I froze this one because it was too much. But they gave us that. They gave us these right here, these thin wheats, but they're like thin HEB brand stuff. So I'm pretty stocked up when it comes to like the food, and again, I got all of this, the thin wheat, you know. I got that. I got beef bacon. This is so good, so good. Put it in the steamer and stuff. So I know what it feels like to struggle and to be hungry and to need to eat and stuff. I don't know. Just not like, how hard times are, like, hard times. Yes, I do my job and everything, but it's still not enough, especially what they pay you an hour and all of that jazz. It's really, really hard. I lost concentration of what I was saying about the food. I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess these food things, you know what, if you get all this donation from HEB and from Walmart and from Sam's or whatever, why don't you say, give us some baby food, give us some baby formula, give us the baby cans, give us like something other than, I get it, your regular human adult consumption. What about the babies? Like, what about, that's gotta hit something hard. I don't know. It just fucking totally sucks, but I'm gonna wrap it up. And again, I was gonna do art while I was talking to you guys, but this doesn't seem important as I'm talking to you and about this subject. I'll do that right now in a little bit, but maybe a little heartfelt, little heartfelt, man. When it comes to that, like, something's got to change when it comes to this fucking world and all of that stuff. Oh yeah, even on the TikTok, because you always on the TikTok. They had somebody had said, like, if you would have gone down to a dealer like in the streets in Compton or whatever, like, I'm over exaggerating, but they do it to dealers, like, hey dude, kids need whatever, that they pulled out money, like, to do whatever for the babies, for the children and stuff. And it makes sense because bikers would have done it, strippers would have done it, dealers would have done it, but church people, pastors didn't do it. So who's the real fucking enemy here? Who's the real demonic person who's just taking, and not giving at all whatsoever? It doesn't make sense. But I remember it dawned on me and just triggered me today. I remember when Sanqui, her name was Sanqui, when her baby starved to death. I was 12 years old living in Mexico City. True fucking story, believe me or not. True story. That baby starved to death. He starved to death. I don't know, man, but whenever next time you go to a church, I mean, I can guarantee you churches are suffering right now. All the churches that said no, and no, we don't do that, and there was no, well, why don't you check this, or why don't you do this, and or you know what, let me conjure up the ladies in the office. Maybe we can put in $10 each and give you, whatever, squash bananas, something, you know what I'm saying, something. There was just, yeah, sorry, we don't do that. Okay, bye-bye, click. Like, wow, very few churches said, and if I'm correct, they were, and I don't misquote me, they were like, I don't know what kind of churches they were, but they were not your regular fucking Christian and Catholic churches. Don't quote me on this stuff, but yeah, that girl's got a list of all these, whatever and stuff. So that being said, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just wanted to mention that, and it just dawned on me. I'm gonna go ahead and continue doing what I'm doing and try to shake off this sogginess, but I guaranteed if I would have been working in an office or whatever, and she would have just randomly called an office or the funeral service and said, hey, I would have said, you better go easy, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to do everything I can within my power to go ahead and assist you. If I have to go on Facebook Live, if I have to conjure up all my Facebook friends and say, hey, we need somebody. If I could do that for a dog, that when it was last winter, for Jack, and when I had people on Facebook bring me blankets, bring me dog food. When we rescued Jack, after he got attacked and his face was all mangled, and we brought him back to life, me and my neighbor. If I could do that, and that people in a heartbeat could come, they could come for some children. Like you could have done something. All of those ladies who answered the phone and said, oh yeah, no, oh, like, let me try to call the priest or the pastor, whatever the pastor, like, oh yeah, only the people that are members or get whatever. Ugh, dude, come on, man. In this day in life, in this day and age, every phone call, come on, man. You could have done something. You really could have done something. I guarantee you people's fucking jobs are on the line right now, and like, what the hell, you done seen the church diminish now with their funding because of what happened on TikTok. Yeah. You better recognize and you better rethink yourself. Shit. I wonder if I have to call and say, hey, I need another drink. You got anything? Will they help me out? I'm being silly now, but anyways, blah, blah, blah. So that being said, yes, so sweet, we love it. But I remember I experienced something like that, and it just dawned on me, and it just got triggered, like, wow, I remember when I was 12 in Mexico and that happened with that poor little child. I couldn't tell you the baby's name, but I know the mom's name was Sanqui, and the grandmother's name was Goya. She was our maid. She was really, really cool. When I say our maid, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, she was our maid, but she was, you're in Mexico. This is back in the 80s, man. Like, but she took care of us, man. That lady took care of us. And that woman could cook, and she would make fresh tortillas. She'd drink with my mom, and they'd be drinking and stuff. So, oh, man, I got stories for days. So, that being said,